Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld, and I'm here with two old friends, two crystal skulls, ancient crystal skulls. This one is called Synergy, and this one is called Shana Ra. We're here with the Skull Keepers, and we're going to be talking about a great event that's happening with 13 of these ancient skulls coming together in New York City on October 10th, the weekend of October 10th, 10-10-10, and it'll be a great festival of high energy and multi-dimensionality. But let's also talk a little bit about this particular experiences people have when they're around the skull. So people would take the skull and sit with it, and what would you coach people to do?
Michele and I have facilitated a lot of individual private sessions with Shana Ra with people, and basically there's two types of responses. One, an engagement with the crystal skulls. One is one of healing, and the other one is one of a relationship like an oracle. So getting a sense of very specific and individual knowledge applied to the person that will help them heal, will help them move through life, this kind of thing.
Well, they sort of are creating a field effect. I mean,
I'll give you an example.
Yes.
A typical example, this woman came out from Pittsburgh all the way to California to be with Shana Ra. She called me up, spent about an hour with Shana Ra. I just put her in a room and let her meditate with some lights and some nice soft music. Okay. She came out and I asked her what had happened. And she said, well, her life situation was she was in Pittsburgh, she had a good life, her family, everything was there, but something was missing. Something was missing in her soul. She wasn't fulfilling herself. She knew she had artistic and healing and spiritual abilities, but even though she had a nice life, she could see the end of it in terms of just living that. And she knew something else was calling her. So she came out to Shana Ra and she asked Shana Ra, what is missing here? And when she went into an altered state, into meditation, she saw a vision in the skull, and it was her doing the exact same thing in 2 other lifetimes. And then when she saw that, she realized, oh, that's why I came here this lifetime, to make that leap, to make that transition. Okay, I see now. So that's kind of some of the things that happen with people when they engage these skulls.
what do you notice?
Well, I could agree with him. Past life stuff comes up. Sometimes it's things to clear, sometimes it's things to bring forward from the past so that you have a tool from the past that maybe it would be useful now. There's physical, spiritual, mental, emotional healing that takes place. You try to describe what a session's like with a crystal skull, and each one's so different. There is no consistency, at least, and I've done thousands and thousands, and they're not the same.
So as an intuitive, Alita, what do you get when you put your hands on these skulls?
Well, each skull has a very different energy to it.
Yes.
But the most important thing is that it hits different centers within your physical body. And with everything that's going on with the Gulf oil spill, and it's almost like the thing that destroyed Atlantis at that time with so much negative energy happening, it's so important that these spiritual tools are used with spiritually oriented people so that we're focusing it internally inside our bodies and integrating the spiritual energy and what they can do so that we become tuning forks and we become pillars of light on the planet using this amazing resource to do that. So it's about cellular connection with this powerful energy, and that's how I see it, you know, in terms of how I feel it inside my body and how I feel I could transfer it in my healing and with the people that I'm working with.
So what do you think will happen when these skulls come together in October?
Kapow!
All right.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
It'll be a very high resonant field that people
very much.
engaging in it will start to get insights in terms of how to direct their
A
lives.
high
Right.
resonant field, I think, is really key because
And
with
it's
that,
love. That's what the
It's love
frequency
and-
is.
And
you
bring it.
have to have love to make these things. I mean, some theories, because they weren't made by machines, some people think they were hand rubbed
Yes.
for hundreds of years.
Yes.
That's what the tribe that had synergy said, that it used sapphire dust and plus and some kind of plant resin to do it. And the tribe says that the skulls were made as a prayer. So a prayer was being done the whole time these skulls were made, and to create a proper receptacle for the information.
So then they're encoded with that prayer, and anyone who comes near these skulls resonates with the same frequencies that these were implanted with. So that is the prayer of peace and love and upliftment for the planet.
Synergy is also called the skull of joy and laughter. We do
Really?
laughing ceremonies with
You do?
Sin. Yeah. It's kind of weird.
I like that, laughing ceremonies.
I
Very
hope to
good.
do one
Sharon
at
and I
10,
had a
10,
great
10.
laughing ceremony.
We got in trouble. We tend to laugh when nobody wants us to.
We kind of got in trouble on that.
So these skulls pick their caretakers, and there's probably, 10, there's a bunch of people around the planet, right? I mean,
Yes.
and
More and more are emerging.
More and more are emerging. I think it's because, I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this,
Please.
as some of it are people that want to be on the commercial bandwagon of, and they'll come up with skulls that say, oh, this is ancient. And it's like, really? You didn't have one last week.
Right.
And so there's those groups of people, and probably it doesn't really matter if the skulls are ancient or not ancient. It's how
They're
you-
future ancient skulls.
Yes.
all ancient in the future, right? But these are ancient because these are probably thousands and thousands of years old, at least thousands and thousands.
So-
I mean,
And yeah, again, but you were asking, what's going to happen when they
Yeah.
all come together. It's just as much about all of us coming together as it is
Right.
the
I
I
skulls.
agree.
right.
I got the
Yeah.
vision that maybe when you do this
Thing in
whole-
October,
yeah,
yes.
that we start something with chanting before, so everybody's in a resonance before.
Yeah,
because
I
then they're
often do
cleaning-
chanting,
Yeah, they're
mhm.
cleaning out their energy field so
And
that we're
aligning.
already vibrating at a certain resonance, because you probably have very high frequency people there and some people that aren't as
Well-
worked on themselves, and we can then create a big vortex and then bring the, focus in on the.
Well, I do
skulls.
think they're all coming together because of the 2012 date, and I think we're going to have Mayan shamans there who are timekeepers, and I think all this is in preparation for a tremendous shift that's happening in consciousness and to the planet that I think will happen on December 21st, 2012. Something unknown is going to come into our field, and these guys are assisting us because they've been around a long time and they've seen the changes.
Many different cultures and natives say that sometime between end of May, June 2012, and February or March of 2013, there's going to be a shift. So it's not just the Mayans, it's many, many
Yes,
native
it is
people.
many.
Synergy has said that the biggest change that will be not that noticeable at first, but it will grow as time goes on, is in the consciousness of the children that are born. That it actually started back in the early 1900s with a few people,
You can tell the camera.
with a few people that were born with a more awareness, like Nick Nocerina and other people. Now, we don't have any way to prove that, but just think: what if 0.5% of the population over the next 30 years has a higher awareness, a higher vibration? It will change the world. And it will change it because the people that are growing into leadership will have a different motivation. So I really hope it's true.
Well, I think it's already happening. I mean,
Yes.
there are new children being born that
Crystal
are
children and-
so different. Your children.
Yes, I have twins, 5.5 years old, and they're just like amazing, amazing in
It's
terms of.
exciting.
great.
Yeah.
It is
yeah.
exciting.
I think something will happen in October when we all come together and there's a field that's created just from the resonance of the quartz
I'm sure something is going to happen.
I'm sure too.
and our bodies, you know, and
Well, the ancient crystal skulls affect the weather, and I know I've watched Synergy do it. I was in Australia last month, and we had somebody following us, some crazed person, and I just told the woman, just keep driving, don't worry about it, and fog just came, and she couldn't find us, and we just quietly turned off, and I've seen it many times. There's a lot of stories we don't have time for. I'm sure Shauna Ra does too. How do they do that? That's a pretty significant change. I've seen storms come up and snow happen when it shouldn't happen, but these things they shouldn't be done frivolously. Changing the weather could impact things in a lot of places. So I'd say the minimum amount of change is probably good.
Well, our weather is changing all over the world already.
Sure is.
Just one more question. When people sit with you in the skull, what kind of sessions do people have with you in the skull?
When I run the sessions, depending on what the person wants, but the people that have come and had private sessions with Shauna Ra, I let them know how they can go into the skull and how to use it for meditation. But I don't interfere. I feel that that's their time, and they can, unless they ask, it's about their experience.
Well, how would I go into the skull? How do people go in?
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
there's a number of ways. You can go in through the eyes, put your head up, your third eye here, or I prefer going in through the back myself.
You go in with your mind. So now you're in, huh?
Different points do different things on the skulls.
Oh, different points do different things.
You're just basically trying to find an entry point for you.
For you.
Mhm, it's different for each
Again,
person.
it's different for
How do I know when I'm in?
You'll know.
You'll know.
It's true.
You'll know, and we'll pull you out if you
You
get
will? I don't want to get stuck in the end of the show. Oh, I'm a crystal skull.
Come back, Ellen!
Turn you to the center of the earth.
I find it amusing when people get their hands stuck on the skull and they're like, I can't take my hands off.
Well, as I go in, I feel it actually talking to me more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like it's not just like saying hello. It's really.
True.
Ellen, you're having a menage a trois.
I hope they don't mind. Excuse me while I just go into this. I'll see you guys around. I'm just,
Well, they're definitely different
going into
cultural viewpoints.
Wow. Yeah, that was.
Is it good for you?
That was good. Well, there's a lot more to say, but I'm going to just continue to dive in. No, that was great. I'll be back, guys. No, thank you. Any closing? Any?
Just be well, be joyful, and I'm so glad you're here and you're doing this great work. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's good to see you
Thank you.
again.
Yes, it is. Oh, and by the way, this is the vision I got for you. When you're ready to make your transition, you'll take Shauna Ra and
You mean
pass it.
synergy?
Synergy, sorry, I'm sorry.
I won't
synergy.
touch Sean.
I'm sorry.
She could pass
Synergy.
Shauna Ra, that'd be fine.
And that's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
It feels like that.
It's that the likelihood is that I'll have it until I pass,
Yes,
and it'll
yeah.
tell me where to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And my daughter felt about the skulls the same way that Michele did. She's like, what did you bring this thing home for? How boring, they're everywhere. But the skulls somehow started messing with her, and she's working with me now. And I had mixed feelings because I kind of wanted my daughter to have a more normal life, not this weird stuff. But it's
What's
none of
normal?
my business.
Yeah.
Right, you have to adjust your attitude about what's normal when you live with a crystal skull.
Well, I think we have to adjust our attitude about
Well-
what's good and what's
Right.
positive all the way around, whether you've got a crystal skull, a crystal, or
Good point.
nothing. It's come a time we have to come together as
Yeah.
human beings. If it's the skulls that do that, wonderful. But it's really, we have to start connecting and paying attention
Yep.
at what's important and not.
Well, power objects have been left as legacies to take back our power as human
Yeah.
beings. And that's why I think they're coming back to the planet. And we're here to share this. We're not here to keep it in a museum. We're here to spread it around to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so they can be in the field that these guys are trying to uplift us by by making our fields coherent.
Absolutely.
And so, thank you. Any
you,
final
Alan.
words, Kirby, about your work? Because give them your website too, because you have a great collection.
Ancienttechnologies.com, and I work with light technologies with some friends formerly of Apple Computer and the Exploratorium in San Francisco. We create light compositions, and we light crystal skulls, huge crystals. It's a very beautiful and very deep experience. And we also are working with artwork too, lighting artwork that gives that same effect, that multidimensional effect when we light art.
Cool.
Great.
Part of the point of when you bring up the Atlantean change, Atlantis is a mythology that in part connotates change through crises.
Right.
Okay, the opportunity we have now is to change through enlightenment, change through ascension,
Yes.
Exactly.
change through consciousness, being aware.
Great.
And that's what the crystal skulls are helping us do, to become aware. To the extent we can be conscious and aware, we can alleviate and eliminate the change through crisis mode.
That is
That's a great way to
We're
put it.
on- Let's say high five.
That is an excellent way to sort of wrap the whole discussion up, because I think, resonating with who we really are, and these help us get to the core of ourselves, we realize we just want peace inside.
Yeah.
And if we can have that, when we have it in the world, and so I think the vibrations of these sacred objects is creating one of peace. At least for me, I feel peaceful.
Enjoy. I get the
Enjoy.
Do you
Enjoy.
enjoy?
Yes, yes.
We tend to take ourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, I feel just when you lined that up, it was like, wow, right in here. And I don't know, was it just the crystals? I mean, it's just something that happened. So we're going to do a lot of that on 10-10-10.
Yes.
Put these crystals in certain alignments
Yes.
around the room so everyone will have a
Yes.
feeling. Like the caretakers can hold the skulls in
Yes.
different parts of the room and create a huge field that we can emanate all around the city and the country.
And I like the fact that this event is giving people an opportunity to hear different viewpoints of how the crystal skulls are used.
Yeah.
And it's not unaffordable. You've made it such a accessible
Yes.
event, where lots of times people would like to go, but they have to choose between buying groceries and going to an event. I really like what you're doing.
Well, it's very reasonable because we want a lot of people there, because we want to increase the field. The more that gather within the same
is-
intention.
Where is
It's
it?
just
Where
So
it's
is it?
about-
Yes.
how do people find out about this
Yeah,
event
where is it?
specifically?
Thank you for asking. They
Yes.
can go to my website, newrealities.com, and right there there's a banner that says Crystal Skulls 10-10-10. You can also go to the Edgar Casey Center of New York and find information there, and Oracle Productions as well.
You can find it on my website,
Oh, go ahead.
crystal-skull.com.
And actually I have a flyer about it. It says
great.
10-10-10, the mysteries of the crystal skulls. Legend has that 13 skulls will come together to form a sacred grid. And this will include Mayan elders, musicians, other speakers. Actually, I'm looking to get Dan Aykroyd, who just created the Crystal Skull
Oh,
Vodka.
that'd be great.
So I'm putting this out.
His family is really big in the paranormal.
I know they are UFOs, and so I'm putting it out to Dan Aykroyd to come visit
man.
your friends.
And he needs to fix his website so that he has Synergy's correct.
Oh, did he use
story.
Synergy for a Crystal
He
Skull
said a
Vodka?
woman living in the Southwest, because he didn't know what my name was.
Oh, well,
And
Dan, it's
you owe me a
Synergy.
bottle of vodka.
So Crystal Skull Vodka maybe will be, yes.
And ancienttechnologies.com, our website.
Ancient, and it's-
Ancient Technologies. And Kendall's started this, the 10-10-10.
Yeah.
He-
Nine, nine,
the
nine.
link to
10,
his
10.
site's on my site.
Great.
But I
Right.
can't really remember.
It's
Crystal Skulls events.
It's
or-
crystalskullsevent.com, Oracle Productions, and it's Kendall Morgan is the.
He's a really cool guy. I
Yeah,
like him.
I've been talking to him for months on the phone, but I just want everyone to have the feeling that I'm having just sitting in this alignment with all these people so in touch with this technology, because it is a technology.
It's cool.
It's a real metaphysics. It's taking physics to the next level.
Yeah.
That includes soul and energy and consciousness.
Yes.
It's amazing when you meet left brain people who have no interest at all in anything metaphysical, just poo-poo it all. They experience a crystal skull and they go, it's not just a rock.
No, it's not.
It's totally cool. Cool.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you for watching. This is Alan Steinfeld, and I hope you come this October 10th, October 8th, 9th, and 10th to meet my good friends Synergy and Shana Ra at a gathering that we're having in New York City. If you want more information about that, go to my website, newrealities.com. go to the Edgar Casey Center, NYC, and what was your website?
crystal-skull.com.
crystal-skull.com. All these websites, you'll find information about this event, and you'll be able to share in this experience of feeling the vibrations of these amazing beings. They're not rocks, they actually are. I mean, I feel like the more I sat with them, the more they feel like people. So, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and this is Alan Steinfeld, and email me also about if you want more information at newrealities@earthlink.net. Thanks for watching.